Bea, would you just like to listen, or you can feel into it? Like if you feel like, no, I don't want to, just.
Yeah, I'll try. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll get some help. I can always ask for help.
Okay, let's do our prayers. So we got, anybody feel go like, yes, I want to do Saraswati, or
I can do that.
And then we have the teacher. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana.
I can do that one.
Nicolina, yeah.
Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Have you had a chance, if you haven't, don't worry about it, but have you had a chance to look at the Rama Shabda? To look at the declensions?
Yes, if that question is for me, yes, I did until the third case.
Third case, plural.
Yes.
Ariane,
Yes.
Nicolina, Carla, did you have a chance to do that? No? Okay, no worries. Okay, we can still try. We do it together. Just get. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
I actually have a question on the third case, plural.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Ramaho? Yes.
No. Ramaihi.
Oh, yeah, the two. Yes. Oh, I forgot that. Okay.
If it was an extra stick with two
Then-
feathers, then it would be. Okay. Now, don't go into this. Oh, I don't know. We do this together. Okay. But I'm going to give you one line each, and just take your time, and you can just slowly read it. Nick, do you want to do the first line?
Okay. Ramaha, the first line.
Yep.
Ramaha, Ramai.
It's one stick and two feathers.
Ramao.
There you go.
And Ramaha.
Good. Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. Okay, so that is, now this is the first case. Nick, do you remember the name of the first case? I'm just circling now on the computer, if you look at it. What do you remember?
Was it written down?
Yes.
Pratama.
Pratama. Good. All right, good. And then Bea, what's the second one? What does it say here?
It's Ramam, Ramao, and Ramana, or Ramana.
No, it's a virama there.
Oh, Raman.
Yeah, good. So the first one, Ramam, Ramau, Raman. So you just stop on the nakara, right? Because you have the virama there. And the second case, I'm just circling, what's the name of that one?
I have it written down like Nick. Is it Vitya? Vitya?
You have dvi. And then you have
Dvitiya.
and long. Dvitiya.
Vitya.
Good. Second case. And then Carla.
Third case.
So you got, just shout out if you need help.
Can I pass so that I can blow my nose?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Nicolina, can you take over?
We have Ramena, na,
Good.
Ramabhyan. Nah, it's a makara. Ramabhyam.
You get that aspirate. So Ramabhyam.
Bhyam.
Mm.
Ramabhyam.
You know, it's a funny story. I heard this from Swamiji. He says that there's a place in India. There's a lot of, you know, like there this kind of funny sadhus that go out and they want to, you know, you have all kinds of things in India, you know, and there are some sadhus in India, and they're pretending like they speak Sanskritam, you know, to just kind of give the face like, you know, they know so much. But actually what they're only doing is they're speaking in this case. So they all goes like, you know, whatever they say, everything gets put, and then they add bhyam, you know, so, you know, whatever it is, bhyam, bhyam, bhyam. So everyone thinks that they speak like really good Sanskritam. And actually they're only using this dual case.
That's the only one we need to learn then.
Yeah, exactly, especially this over. Okay, Nicolina, and this one.
Ramaihi.
Good.
Ramai.
Mai.
Ramai.
And what's the name of the third case?
Tia. Tia.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Good. Really get into that, like dropping your jaw. That's going to help you so much. All right, good.
Yeah.
Carla, are you feeling okay to do or yeah?
Yes, yes.
So, okay, so just to let you know, so Nicolina already kind of helped you because this one is the same. They're all the same. 1, 2, 3 here is the same. So that's kind of a hint for the rest of you. And also like Nick and Bea, the second there, they're also the same. So same, and then you have 3 in the dual, which are the same. Okay.
But I didn't hear her, so I'm gonna do it
No.
again. It's okay. All right. So fourth case, singular. Singular is ekavachanam, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Ramaya.
Ramaya, good.
Maya. And now Rama. And there's Ramanya. So there's a ya with the M before. Huh?
That one is a Bakara.
Ah, it's a bakara. Ramabhya.
Yeah.
Ramabhya. And then Ramabhyam.
Yeah. And then you just dropping your jaw. So think like Ramabhyam.
Ramabhyam.
Good. And then this one.
And then Ramubhyam. No, Ramubhya.
It's only
Oops.
one feather.
I want Ramebhyaha.
Good. Ramebhyaha.
Ramebhyaha.
Mm. And you, now this one is tricky. So take your time. Maybe you want to spell this one because it's quite tricky for everybody.
Cha.
Yeah.
And then it's a bakara with the no, it's a takara with the, so it's two.
2.
Cha two,
And then you have this fellow.
which has a repa.
Yes.
And it has a long E. So
First you go to this fellow, and then you go
Cha-
back to this fellow.
Chatur.
Yes.
Chatur. And then what is that one? I forgot that one.
This is a
Cha-cha-cha.
this is a dental.
Ta.
Yes.
Ta. So
then-
Chatur T. Chaturti.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, well done. That was a tricky one. All right, good. So now who is here they are. Alice. What does it say here? You do the fifth one?
Ramat, Ramad, and Ramabhyam, Ramebhyaha.
Good. So these two are the same as well, right? You see that?
Ah.
Mm. Okay, and what's the name of the fifth case?
Panchami, Panchami.
Panchami. Good. Okay, Ariane, what is the sixth case? Oh, we can't hear you.
Sikis
Mhm.
Ramasya.
And then?
Yoho.
Good. And then?
Nam.
Good. Okay. Now be careful when when it's long, and when it's short. So you got to go Ramasya, Ramayoho. And here you go, dropping your jaw all the way. Ramanam. And what does it say here, Ariane?
Sasti.
Tongue back. Shashti.
Shashti.
I think it could be for all of you, if you tilt not backwards, slightly have it a little bit, not too much, but rather have slightly tilting the chin forward, so not too much back. So you get so it's Shashti. Good. So Nick, I think, have I missed someone? Let me know. I think Nick, what's the next one? Oh, we can't hear you. Maybe this unmute.
Rame,
Good.
Rama, Yo, Yoho.
Good.
And Rame, forgotten that one at the end there. Yeah. Rame Shu.
Shu. Yes. Good. Very good. Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. And what's the name of this one?
That is a conjunct between T Takara and possibly a Takara. No.
Yes, I think yes, you said it correct. So the top one is a pakara, lips together, pakara, and the bottom one is a takara, so dental.
Shatamo.
This
Wow.
is a rainbow.
Shatami.
Good. And get that. So Saraswati at the dental. So the sound is coming close to the dental. So Saptami. Saptami.
Sapsani.
Sap. Saptami.
Sapsani. Me.
Mm. So lips together. Saptami. All right. Nicolina, what does it say here?
Hey, Rama. Hey, Ramau. And hey, Ramaha. Ramaha.
And you get,
Ramaha.
what's the name of this one?
It's a long one. Sambedhanam.
It's
No,
a
it's not.
one.
Sorry, it's an O. Sambodhanam.
Yes, Sambodhana. Okay, so now we did this. Now, are you okay if I give you next time in the home fun? So for example, if I tell you, please write and I only gonna take the words which are here in this list. I can make a screenshot of it so you have them. And I pick one of those words and then I say, please write it in, and then I will give you this vibhakti, and then I will give you if it's singular or dual or plural. Do everybody understand kind of what to do? Yeah. Alice says yes, Bea says yes, Nicolina, yeah, everything is, yeah, okay, good. Okay, so you're gonna have some home fun with that. All right, good. Then we leave this one, and then we go to this fellow. All right, shall we see, we can try the, oh, by the way, do you remember last time we were talking about this funny thing, because it was a avagraha and it was only one, and we were talking a lot about, because it was actually, there's actually, you know, it was a long and not a short one. And then I looked at another text, and I can send you a picture of that. And they actually made it much more clearer, because they were writing 2 avagraha. So here is actually not very clear, because they only use 1 avagraha. If they used 2, it would have been much more clearer. If it sounds like Chinese, what I just said, don't worry about it. But just to know that that actually is a little bit of a typo. The correct way to do it would be to write 2 of them. Okay, good. So let's go back to our first. We're just going to chant through it. We're not going to go slowly. So maybe, Alice, do you want to do the first line?
Vedo nityamathyatam taruritam karma svanushthiyatam.
Good. And Bea, number 2.
Te nishasya vidhiyatam apachiti kamye matistyajjatam.
Make a note there on the kamye. Make sure that's long there. Ariani, number 3.
Papaogaf pariduyatam bawasuke doso nusandhiyatam.
Make a note. This is long. Yeah. Nicolina, are you okay with the 4th one?
I can try it. Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagraha turnam. No, it's a turnam. Vinirgamyatam
Perfect. And Nick, are you okay to chant the first one on the, where are you? Here. Nick, are you okay to chant the first line?
I'll give it a go. Sangha Satsu Vidiyatam Bhagavato Bhakti Pakir Durga Diyatam.
Good. So make a note there on this one. So it's aspirate. Diyatam. And this is the tricky part because you have dr, and then you have to go, your tongue has to go back. Dr, da, diyatam. So that is a tricky part. So good. All right. So we're here now, right? This part here. So let's see, Carla, what letter is this? What does it say? What's the first letters?
Sha.
Yeah. So just get in the habit of saying shakara.
Shakara, long akara,
Good.
and then
Conjunct consonant.
so connected to yakara is first I would say it's a nakara and then a takara.
Good.
Nakara, takara, yakara. And then a long akara.
Good.
And then dhakara with ikara.
Good. Make sure you don't make it da, just da, unaspirate. So you can test by having the hand in front of your mouth. So it's just dakara, dakara.
Okay, dakara. I actually thought it was a cerebral dakara, so it was my mistake.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, ikara, and then answara visargaha.
You want to try to say it?
Shantyadihi.
Good, but just make sure that this is long.
Shantyadihi.
Good. Shantyadihi. Good, very good. And Nick, what does it say here?
That says Pakara Pia. Sorry, pre.
No.
No?
Try again. What's spell it? First you said pakara, and after pakara it's a
Pari.
yeah.
Akara.
Yeah. So you got akara, and then what's the name of this letter?
Repa.
Repa and ikara. And how would you say this again?
Pari.
Good. Okay. Bea, what does it say here?
Chakara and ikara.
Is it I or ikara?
Oh, I. Is it dirga?
Yeah.
Dirga. And yakara. Tikara.
Just say the vowel.
Oh, the akara. So it's yakara, akara, tikara, and akara, dirga. That's the not makara. Is that the anuswara? Makara.
it is a anuswaraha, but
Yes.
because it's a anuswaraha and is followed by a dental sthanam, it becomes a na.
Let me write that.
So this is actually, when you chant it with this follow, it's tan. Mm. Alice, what happens here? This is a visargaha. This is a special sandhi rule.
I'm not sure of the name of the sandhi. I think it becomes a fa.
Yes. So
Is it-
for this here is a special rule. This visargaha changes sound and become a f, f, f. So same as you have purnaf, purnamadaf. You hear that? Purnamadaf, purnamidam. That f, f. And you hear that a lot. And you also hear a lot of people not doing it. And they skip it. So Alice, how would you say this thing?
Shantya di dif shanta shantya dif parichiyatam. Nah.
You did it. Ariane, can I hear you?
Santyadif Parichiyatam.
Good. Make sure you get that longness. Shantya, the long. Nicolina, can you try?
Shantya dif parichiyatan.
Good. Bea?
Shantyai parichiyatam.
Good. Nick?
Shantiyati parichiyatam.
Sorry, do it one more time, Nick. Shantyadif.
Shantiyati parichiyatam.
Good. There. Perfect. And then I think Carla.
Shantyadif parichiyatam.
Good. Just make sure that parichiyatan.
So the last swaraha is a dental, huh?
Yeah. Tan. Landing on a close to the teeth. Tan. Yeah. Very good. All right. Excellent. Okay. So what are you chanting? What are you talking about? Okay. Has anybody heard about the Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titikshu, Shraddha? Does that ring a bell for anybody? Yeah, Nicolina?
I have, but I'm not so sure of what the exact meaning, but I recognize them. I've heard them.
Okay, so you will you will hear it. Sometimes it says Shamadi, and what is that's very common in the scriptures. That you for example, if you have at this situation you have 6 different words, and you just take the first word and then you add adi. So it's like saying that word and etc. And by doing this adi, you're including all the 6 of them. So that shamadi is coming from shama and then adi, etc. And then you have shatka, which means the 6, shatka, 6, sampatihi. So this is they talking about this the disciplines or the preparation as someone who is spiritually interested. Now it's not like it's not like in Sanskritam you will say krama. It's like when okay you do that first and then you do that, and it's like it comes step by step. It's not like that. And it's also not like saying, oh, you have to have this very finished and clear and 100% before you do anything. It's not like that at all. The fact that you even interested in this subject shows that you already have a lot of these qualities in yourself. The more you get interested, the more you want to put that effort, you notice how it's affecting your own life. Like it gives back to you. It has a positive effect on your own life. And also how you're increasing these qualities. Okay. Now, in the text, the one that with the text that you have, I found it wasn't really clearly explained. So the first one is talking about, it's called Shama. Okay, the first one is is talking about Shama. That is mastery, or be able to control the mind. When the mind is filled with, that's what the mind does. The mind has constantly thoughts. And you know how it is, like you start thinking about, sometimes when you go into kind of dreaming or daydreaming, you start thinking about one thing and then suddenly you end up somewhere else, and suddenly you just go like, how on earth did I end up there? Right? So this is something that happened to all of us. If you right, we've always been like, oh my God. Now, someone has Shama, and someone who really have, high quality of this, can control, not as in control, like, not like that. It's just naturally happens. It doesn't allow the mind to spin off. It doesn't go into this kind of like, what if, what if that's going to happen? What if the world's gonna go this way? What if I lose my house? And start stressing about things, or projecting things on the future, or start worrying. And we're surrounded by those people all the time. So you need to be able to have certain qualities to be able to stand grounded, because you are facing these things all the time, all the time. And so that is Shama. Okay, that's Shama. The next one is Dhamma. Dhamma means that you have control over your the senses. So you have the Pancha Jnana Indriyas. So you have five organs of action, like your eyes, your tongue, your ears, and so on. So you got this, you have different organs for actions, you have organs for knowledge, and you also have organs for energies, like we do in the puja. We're chanting for the puja, for the different energies. So we all have that. That's part of your body. Now, and then on top of that, you have what is called the Antakarana, which stands for Antaha, which is the inner, and then Karana, which is the instrument, right? And because of a Sandhi rule, it becomes Antakarana, right? So you don't say Antaha Karana, you say Antakarana. So it means the inner instrument. And what are the inner instrument? You have, anybody? You got Chittam, you got your intellect, Buddhi, you got Manaha, and last one, anybody? Ahankara. So the one that identify, the one that says, my name is Nick, I am a woman, I am from England, and so on. That one, that one that identify. Of course, all these things is very important for survival. Imagine if you grew up and didn't have all these faculties. So they're really, really important, but they also need, as you grow up and mature, need to be able to not let them spin out of control. You need to be able to discipline them, and also like work, like have them grounded, like stable, and not let them go out and start spinning around and start worrying and these things, because then it's not serving you. Now, a lot of times when we're talking about the inner instrument, just a little side note, is that it can be quite confusing, because in the scripture, sometimes what they do is that they just take one of the names, but they're referring to all four of them. So that's very common. They say, for example, Manaha, but they're referring to all four of them. And sometimes they just say one and they just mean one. So you have to, a lot of things when you're reading the scripture is to understand the context of the scripture, and that's where the teacher is one of many reasons, but the reason the teacher is like, he can show that, okay, in this context is referring to this and this, because so you don't get confused. Okay, any questions so far about Shama and Dhamma?
How do you spell those?
Shiva.
Huh?
Shiva is Akara, Makara, and Akara. And then Dhammaha, Dakara, Akara, Makara, Akara. You will have it in your home fund. So I just want to explain it because it's not written, it's not that clear in the text, but they are coming up. Because when you're chanting now, when you're saying Shantyadif, what that word is referring to is the sixfold qualities. It is referring to Shamadhi, Shatka, Sampatti. So they all link to each other. Okay, so Shama, Dhamma, and then you have Uparama. Uparama means that you again, so just think at someone who is getting less interested in the outside world. She or he, or if you feel like this is referring to yourself, you go like, yeah, that's me too. You're just less interested. You're more interested in contemplation, and you're more interested to start like contemplate on things. If that resonate with you, that's okay. You know, that's where. If it doesn't, that's okay too. You know, it's not like anyone says like you got to do this, or this is better, or this is what. No. It's like, no. But if it does, at the Uparama, it will mean that you less and less interested. You're not going to increase your activities, if it makes sense. You're not going to go and say, oh, I want to do everything, or I want to. The contemplation has much more value than being active. Now, for someone who is, and this is like the world we live in right now. For some reason, which I don't understand, but for some reason, the value of being someone who's very successful and very active is considered to be successful, right? That's a lot of the cultures that we're living. But if you look from the scripture, from a Vedic perspective, it's actually someone who's contemplating and giving time to do that is someone who's spiritually mature and having this quality to be able to sit down and not engaging in more activity. Doesn't mean that he doesn't do anything, but he's limiting. He's saying, I need not, I don't go, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. And that's something that we maybe gradually, I remember myself, you know, like when I was younger, I was one of those like, yes, I do that. Yes, 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 to everything. And then I just noticing step by step, I was like, I'm not interested. And it didn't happen in one day, and it just happened naturally. And I just like, I'm so happy I just want to contemplate. I love to be sitting and quiet in my own, and that's me. You know. Okay, so what was the first one? Anybody remember the first one?
Sama,
Shama. Second,
Dama,
Dhamma. And third,
Uparama.
Uparama. Good. Then fourth one. So we've done 3 now. The fourth one is called Titiksha. Titiksha. So it's a cerebral letter. Tongue has to go back. Titiksha. That means endurance. It means that even if it's, you know, how I just give you a fun example because it's in Sweden, but so Nicolina probably knows what I'm talking about. I loving it. It makes me giggle. But every time I go back to Sweden, if it's cold, then people will say, "Oh, it's too cold." And then it gets a little bit warmer. It's like, "Oh, I miss the cold." And then it gets very hot. It's like, "Oh, I can't stand this hot." And
The
I
same
mean,
here, isn't it?
I was watching my mom, and I was like, it never stops. It never stops. I honestly, I love my mom too. You know, she's a beautiful woman. But when it comes to weather, oh, I'm amazed. It's. I never heard her say it's always something. Okay. So titiksha means that you have this quality where you're like, okay, it's a little bit warmer today. Fine. It's okay. You know, it's a little bit colder today. It's fine. It's a little bit rainy today. It's fine. You know, whatever weather, both outside or inside or whatever happens, you don't go, it doesn't affect you. It's all fine. You know, it doesn't go to that. That's called titiksha. It means endurance, and not mean like, oh, it just means like, you okay, everything okay. And that's also something you notice, like as you notice, like, oh, maybe 5 years ago I would have been really upset with this situation, and then 5 years later you're like, wow, nothing happens to me. It's just kind of like, there's an example in the scripture saying like the lotus flower, like, you know how you can pour water on a lotus flower and it just kind of pour off. It doesn't get affected. It doesn't get affected by, you know, even whatever happens. If someone gives it diamonds, you know, it doesn't go like, oh, I'm so, you know, or if someone pour muds on it, you know, or it just stays the same. It just kind of, it falls off. Nothing really, it doesn't poke. Nothing happens. It's just fine. Fine. It's all fine.
May I add one thing?
Yeah.
Yes, because I was thinking a lot about this since I work with kids. It's really funny because they don't have that look on weather. It's just they love every weather, and it has been a really good practice for me to just. I'm not so much. I actually love every weather, but still I can like say, oh no, it's raining today, even though I see the qualities of the rain. But working with kids has really helped me with that, to be reminded of that there's like no bad weather. It's just weather. And it's so nice to see the kids how they just approach these different weathers with like the possibilities. If it's raining, there's a water, I don't know what it's called, but they like to jump in them and they get wet. And they can take mud and just get it in their face and all over their clothes, and it's like they don't mind. So it's really funny to see that, and to how do you say, like be inspired by that. Yes.
Kids have so much to teach us. So much.
Yeah, they really have.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so true. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Anyone else has some stories or thoughts that came up with this? If anything.
I'm going to be honest. Sometimes, because I'm Italian, so I'm used to the hot weather. But sometimes I do notice saying, "Oh, it's so cold here," and I have like 6 layers of blanket. But then when I was in Italy in the summer, I was like, "Oh, can't stand this hot weather anymore." So I like it. I like both in the end, but I still like comment on it. And I think here it's quite interesting. Like every single person, but even the ones you meet on the road, they say something about the weather. There's always something about the weather. Like,
Yeah.
always. But yeah.
In Bali, you would, Ariane, correct me if I'm wrong. I never talk about the weather. Right? Never. It's never. I never hear, and it's like it is what it is. But here they will ask you, where are you going? That's a standard. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? So that's kind of, I think every culture had their own questions, these questions where you ask to kind of, just talk about something. And I think Sweden and England is definitely a weather. In Portugal, do you speak about the weather? Carla?
Yes, not as much as in England, but people are very picky about the weather. Although we have amazing weather, but they're still very picky. And I was thinking, I don't know if it goes in this one or not, but for me, more than the weather, it's the body. It's the one that I struggle not to complain about, because today I have a huge back pain, and to just allow myself to release from that pain. I think it's much worse. The body is like more than the weather is the body, which has a weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the mind also, sometimes I have like a huge cloud in my mind. I can see it. It's so dark. And I know that it's not me. It's just there. And also I'm like trying to blow it away, and it's really hard.
But because I think we all know what you're talking about. But I also think that when you come to that point where you're aware of it, that you can explain it, say, I know it's there and it's not me, but it's there, then you come a long way, because you're able to say it's there. I know it's there and it's not pleasant. But I think that's a big healing process, and the fact that you can say that means that you come a long way, so that to do that, I think also that we a lot of times we forget to do this to ourselves and say, I'm doing really well, I'm doing really well, because to come to that part means that you really been facing things, and not many people, that's not an easy path to take. That means that you've gone past things and through things, and it's not always, it's not pleasant. It's not like it's a jolly good. It can be quite painful, and most people would be like, well, I don't want to look at that unconscious or whatever it is, I don't want to even look at it. I'd rather run off and do some other things. So that's, so make sure you do this, yeah. But definitely the body is, it's another level. Yeah. The scripture talks about, when we have these things, it's called prarabdha. It's like we're born in certain, when we come to this, when everybody gets into certain bodies, and everybody will have certain things in their lives that will be challenging, and and those challenges are, to grow spiritually. But not everybody can do it, but that everybody, and because sometimes we can go like, why is so unfair? I got all this shit, and that person seems like he was born with, a silver spoon, and it looks like that. But, we don't have we can only see it from our own perspective. And there are, from a Vedic perspective, it's like you have, you're born in this perfect body to grow spiritually, and with that there will be situations that has the painful situation that you can grow spiritually. You can, and you can also run away from it and not face it. So yeah, but it's difficult. It's hard. I know. Yes. All right, so we got 2 more. The 5th one is called Shraddha. Shraddha. Anybody think about it if I say that? Shraddha.
I know, is it faith? Just because a friend of mine is called Shraddha, so I asked her what it meant.
Yeah, very often it's translated as faith. I think it's even in the text they use the word faith. I like the word trust more. Because faith, I don't know if it's true, but I find faith has a little bit this like faith is my faith. Like you don't have any power to choose in your own life. If faith for me, it feels like, okay, it's my faith, I can't do anything about it. And that's not what it is. So it's more, in my perception, it's better to use
Trust.
Trust. Yeah, trust. In this 6, in the Shakta Sampatihi, is more referring to trust in the scriptures. So, and that's, that might be something that, gradually, but you have this trust and saying, okay, there is something. Veda is talking about something which is not talked about in any other scriptures. It's not mentioned. It's a lot of like, it's talking about self-knowledge. It's talking about moksha. It's not talking about an experience. It's not like something that you go to. It's not talking about something that will happen. It's not talking about something, it's like aura or a light. It's not talking about anyone. It's talking about you are right now free. You can't get any more perfect. You are the freer of the freest, but you need to know that. And there's an ignorance, and the only way to know that is knowledge. There's nothing to do. You can't jump around or stand on your head or standing with a head, your leg on one leg. None of that's going to give you knowledge. That might be serving you, physically, but when it comes to knowledge, the Veda is a pramanam, is a means of knowledge for self-knowledge, and that's the trust in that. And then the 6th one is samadhanam, is to be able to have concentration, to stick to something, to not get away or get so sidetracked, because it's very easy to get sidetracked, because how easy it is. Someone is calling up, don't go to that class, Sanskritam. Why do you do that? Just look at the recording, much easier. Come with us, go on the cafe, it's much fun, and you're gonna miss it. That happens all the time. How hard is it to say, no, I want to do this, I'm sticking to it? So
in our case is to sleep longer.
And sleep longer.
It's the bed is saying, come and stay with me.
Exactly.
It's cold.
It's
It's
warm.
dark and cold, and you want to hibernate, and it's just
I know. And it's totally understanding. It's like no one is judging or saying, you know, this or that. But you know, it's that concentration, like, I want this. I really want this. Yeah. I thought with Swamiji, when I came, I was like, everybody wants to come to him. Everybody wants to sit with him. Everybody, like, I thought it was the most, I thought it was like, of course, everybody wants to study with Swamiji. And then I heard very, very rare. And I was like, it's not a chance. It's not a chance. And then I saw people and they coming, and very soon there was cafes, and you know, there were more other things that were popular. And finally I was like, wow, it's very rare. And that's why I, you know, I mean, how many people are coming and dropping off, you know? It's fine, you know, because it is rare. It's super rare that you have the ability and the concentration and the desire to know. It's rare. But no one has any agenda, you know, no one has say like, you have to. So, all right, so I hope that is a little bit clearer for you. So now when you read the text, just put this kind of what we talked about and put that together with the text, because the text kind of explain a little bit wobbly in my perception, or you can have your own opinion. And yeah, any questions? No. Okay, so the home fund will be this one, and then I will also give you a little bit of this. I will give you a word, and then I give you the bhakti and vachanam. So singular, dual, or plural. And then you have to look at the Rama Shabda, taking the word and putting that ending to it. Okay? Good. Anybody inspired? Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yaksho Barahitaha Brahmana Santo Nirbhayaha Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhatrani Pashyantu Ma Kachit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Saggamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityo Ma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Bye.